Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and I'm at one of my favorite spots. It's actually closed right now, so we're gonna have to go up the street a little bit, Moss Point. And the tide's out too. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? But what we're gonna talk about today is the fact that the pain is gonna continue. The pain's not gonna stop right now. And before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. But let's get right into it. The Fed yesterday raised interest rates 1/4 point. That's not the big deal. The big deal is that Jerome Powell opened his mouth and said that the pain is going to continue and that we're going to continue to raise interest rates. Now, what this is this is the Fed's overnight rate that they issue and use for banks to lend money to each other overnight. So basically we're at 4.75% right now is what the rate is at. And the problem with this is that this is going to affect all of us as consumers with everything that we do, from mortgages to car loans to credit card debt to personal loans to absolutely everything. Your funding of your business loans, absolutely everything's going to be affected by this. Let me get a better shot of that. Isn't that just stunning out there? Now you can walk out there if I go over the rocks and do all that stuff, and I'm not doing that today. But this is going to be a major problem, guys, and it's going to continue to be a major problem because people don't realize that, oh, it's just 1/4 point, it's no big deal. It's a huge deal. Business is not good right now. Jerome Powell knows that this is not good right now. Jerome Powell knows that there is a problem with the economy and with businesses right now. Think about this. All the stories that I get sent to me from around the globe, first thing that's most important right now is business bankruptcies for big business is up over 10%. That is huge, guys, since December. Okay? December to the end of January, you've got business bankruptcies up a full 10%. That is a huge figure right now. You're going to see more and more people start to lay off more and more people. PayPal's 2,000 people yesterday. There's been over 100,000 people that have been laid off right now from these big tech companies over the course of the last 45 days. This is the beginning of this. Now, where does it end? Where do people start realizing that there is an issue with this? Start to realize that there's an issue with this. So, it's too bad we can't go down there. This is really different. This Moss Point area, look at all the green growth on there. It looks like grass. It's really cool. But this is at the end of Moss Street and Pacific Coast Highway. Absolutely stunning down here, guys. But it's beautiful. We'll go up one more street and take a look at some more stuff. But there's so much more to cover. I haven't even finished the Jerome Powell stuff yet. Now I moved up the street to, again, one of my other favorite spots, which is Ruby Street. But this does not take you down to the water. This is a park with this little lookout point, which is just amazing. And I got to talk to a friend of mine today, Doug, who is in the foreclosure business. And I've known Doug for over 30 years. And it is amazing to talk to him about how slow things are right now. There's not a lot of foreclosures right now. This is the calm before the storm. You're starting to see people go out and the banks are bending. The banks are giving these people every benefit that they can, every extension that they can. Oh, you want the payments added to the end of your loan? We will do that. You know, whatever they can, they are doing. But he says, Dan, we're finally at the end of the COVID extensions. It's done. And the banks know that this is done. So with that, you're going to see more and more people experience the foreclosure festival. And he thinks it's about to explode. Now, Doug's got offices in Orange County and in Vegas. And he has basically grown up doing this because his father was in the industry. And Doug started his own business, 25 years ago. And he's doing it too. But the banks right now are not bending. The REO department, which is the banks owning the real estate, you're just not seeing it right now. There is none of that. Now, that's not to say that this is not going to happen, because it's going to happen. So for those of you that think that real estate's going to pick up and everything's going to be great, you're kidding yourself. Now, we just heard from Pulte Homes. Here's something that's really interesting. What we heard from Pulte Homes is that they made a ton of money. They got to charge 17.9% more on houses and made a huge net income that went up 33%. Revenue was up 19%. Largest home builders are D.R. Horton, Lennar Homes, Pulte's number 3. Here's the one thing that we didn't get from Pulte though. We don't have their inventory of unsold homes. The story is below. Look at it. Tell me if I'm missing something, because if anybody knows the inventory for Pulte Homes and where they're at today over where they were at on the last time they reported earnings, I would want to know that, because that's the kiss of death. That's where they have billions of dollars worth of inventory sitting there that's not sold. So they can do rah-rah, and the CEO comes out and says how much money they're making, but you guys know that this is just a limited time, that this is going to be like this. I'm going to lift the camera up a little bit for you guys to see this. Isn't that amazing out there? But guys, check this out, guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's insane, guys. I live in this area that I get to come here for free parking and hang out here. I'd like to have that guy's house. Kind of nice. So share your thoughts on this stuff right now, but we are going to see the foreclosures start to pick up. They have to. You know, Zillow got clobbered, Redfin, all these people that were going to buy houses, and you can only sell so many houses to BlackRock and all those people that are going to buy stuff. They can't buy everything, guys. That's what we're going to experience, is that reality is going to set in with these people. And you just don't want to have a neighborhood full of renters. You go to an apartment complex for that, where it's managed by a management company. But to have individual houses where everybody on the street is going to be a renter is not going to be the most desirable thing. I think it's great in theory, but it's not when you think about it. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to see foreclosures pick up? I've had a few real estate agents call me and email me since yesterday's video. And once again, the true professionals, they say, hey, listen, Dan, here's what my database is. Here's what I do. Here's where I'm worth the money. And they all justify it. And they're great. Woman out of Florida, I'd love to talk to her and get her on the show, because, clearly, her service is not a sign in the front of the house. Her service is a sales team with a huge list of people that are prepared to buy the house. Speaking of getting people on the show again, guess who's coming back next week? The champ, the one and only Gerald Celente. So I cannot wait. You know what, you guys? Hey, if there's a question you want me to ask Gerald Celente, the trend economist, send over some questions and I'll pick one of them, or a few of them actually, for you guys to ask Gerald, because he was on fire last time. The video did great, and I cannot wait to get him out. But we got about a week until he's going to be on the show, guys. So let's, put together some good stuff for Gerald, and let's wish him well. But isn't this beautiful, guys? Crazy. With this amazing staircase. It's just absolutely beautiful. But we're starting to see things in the economy that are reminiscent of problem years. And everybody uses the barometer of 2008 as, hey, remember 2008? That was the collapse. Well, 2008 was the start of it. Just like 1929 was the start of the Depression, 2008 was the beginning of the end. And people had a difficult time through, 09, 2010, even 11 and 12. But the bankruptcies that I mentioned earlier, you're seeing the bankruptcy levels hit the same level that they hit in 2010. Okay? That is a very negative barometer to be compared to right now. And once again, people want you just to look over here and act like it's no big deal and there's nothing going on. This is Woods Cove, which is absolutely, again, stunning. And think about this, guys. It is winter time. It is the first week of February. And the beach is amazing. You are seeing more and more mortgage lenders go out of business. So much so that people are asking the question, what do you do when your mortgage lender goes out of business? Who do you deal with? Imagine that's a question you have to ask now. What's your financial solvency like? Are you positioned to continue in the marketplace over the next 2 years? People, you have to ask this stuff now. Oh, I'd be embarrassed to ask that, Dan. Okay, that's on you. Oh, you'll love this one. Diane got a letter from her doctor's appointment. Hey, as of 2023, when you schedule an appointment, we're going to charge you an additional fee, an administrative fee. What? It's kind of like your inflation fee, guys, but this has nothing to do with your insurance. It has nothing to do with your copayment. This is the doctor's office clipping you and charging you more money for something for no particular reason. It's an administrative fee. When you schedule the appointment, by the way, it's not listed in the letter that she provided what the administrative fee is, but it's non-refundable. And they're going to take it from you when you schedule the appointment because we're sick of people not keeping their appointments. Well, I got to be honest with you. Restaurants get reservations that people, cancel, people get sick, things come up. I understand stiffing people, but the doctor's office. The doctors make a ton of money with the insurance companies and your copays. They really do. And you can sit there and tell me that they don't, and it's not like it used to be, Dan. That's ridiculous because I have known my doctor for 20 years and I talk to him like I talk to my friends, and there's no nonsense with it. But I hate it because when you go to the doctor, all I do is wait. They're not on time anymore. They're backed up, they're double booked, and now I have to pay an administrative fee. I will never pay that. If it would save my life, I wouldn't pay an administrative fee with a doctor. Has anybody else seen this? Share stuff like this. This is solid gold that she sent me this, okay? I'm really so grateful for it because, and that's ridiculous, guys. It gets to be too much that we're supposed to pay all this stuff all the time, and just no big deal, it's the way it is. Yes, the U.S. consumer is freaking out. That is a given right now. We're being charged more than ever for everything right now. And people don't see an end in sight. You're seeing shortages of food, you're seeing high prices on food, and you're seeing lack of quality throughout everything, especially produce and meat and things like that right now. It's not the same as it was. Look at this. It's beautiful. This lady's out here playing with her dog. You gotta, where do you draw the line? Phillips, the oil company, they're doing well. They just slashed 6,000 jobs. You think 6,000 kids work at Phillips? No, it's 6,000 heads of households that work at Phillips. What we're going to go into is a depression. This is not going to be some, the guy today, I love Doug, but Doug's like, hey, this could be a recession with a big R on it. Yeah, it's followed, with a D in front of it, So, absolutely amazing, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Just a nice, cool winter day. So, share your thoughts on this stuff. But Phillips, that's a big deal, guys, when they start shutting people down. And again, I covered this earlier, but 100,000 jobs have been cut already this year. 100,000 already from big companies. That's an absolute ton. Dawn. I love Dawn from Ohio, okay? She sends me stuff all the time, and it's solid gold, and I could just have the Dawn channel lately because she's been sending me so much stuff. But to pick and choose some of it, this is insanity. This is Looneyville right now. Rosie, was a rescue, okay? And Rosie's the greatest dog in the world. I recommend that everybody rescue dogs. Dawn found that you can now rescue a dog out of the metaverse. Talking about glue sniffing craziness. That's insane, guys. Rescuing a puppy or a cat out of the metaverse. Now, when my kids were young, I think they were Tamagotchis. I should have called my daughter first before I did this, but they had these little electronic devices that were like pets, and you had to feed them, and you had to punch them, and if they didn't, they would die. And you had to play these games all the time. And I believe they were out of Japan, and they were supposed to teach the kids responsibility. I just thought they were a way of selling the kids something. But, you know, what do you guys think about that? Because I think it's crazy to sit there and to, you know, adopt a pet in the metaverse. Okay? When does the looniness end? When does it end, guys? Okay? There are kids that are going hungry tonight. There are families that are going to sleep in their cars tonight. There are dogs and cats that don't have homes in the real world, and you're supposed to go to the metaverse and adopt a pet and spend time with that. And again, if you don't pay attention to the pet in the metaverse, the pet will die and you'll be banned, and you have all these penalties and things like that because you're a loser, okay? And you couldn't get a real girlfriend in the real world. That's just me, okay? Terrible. Can't believe you said that. Anyways, my favorite. Car payments have hit $1,000. Here's how to lower yours. Great story below about that, which is crazy because the fact that you're borrowing to the moon and you have a depreciating asset, it's a good lesson to learn, because people are learning this with homes right now, that they bought a home, and especially Vegas right now, you're seeing houses that were $200,000 2 years ago. They shot up to $600,000. Now those houses are at $450,000. How'd you like to be the guy that 2 houses down that paid $600,000 for it? Doomed, guys. Absolutely doomed. So here's ways to get rid of your high-priced car payment. The majority of them are refinance it for a longer period of time. I recommend when you finance a car to not finance it more than 3 years. 36 months. Generally, unless you got completely clipped on the car and taken advantage of, ripped off, stolen from, okay? Unless you got completely clipped on the price of the car, you could basically pay it off in a 3-year period. And then you could be plus on the equity of that vehicle, generally. You are going to see, once again, I've said this before, no one cares what you drive. No one cares at all. They just don't. Really don't. They don't care where you live either. Okay? So have that high-priced condo on the 9th floor and all that stuff that we have there. I mean, we've got condos here in Irvine that are like $7-8 grand a month to live in an apartment. Isn't that crazy? Okay? But look at the view of the airport. Isn't that nice? Good for you. Bed Bath & Beyond, man, are they hanging by a thread right now. 7 more stores were announced that they are closing here in Southern California. That's awful. Samsung, okay? The phone company, electronics company, think about this, their earnings are off 69%. 69% because gadgets are off right now. You know what else is off? Cell phone usage. You don't need a new $1,600 cell phone. Cell phones sales have dropped for the first time in a decade. So since 2008, guys, okay? So you're seeing these crazy figures happen. I'll give you guys a view of the water beating on it. But once again, that's terrible. The UK, getting all these stories out of the UK right now about real estate. And for the 5th straight month, again, guess what happened to them? Real estate prices dropped for 5 straight months in the UK. People are not immune to having a problem when it comes to overpaying for something. Doesn't matter where you live, the people in the UK are susceptible to it as well. Oh, David sent me a great story about his Ford pickup truck, where when he took delivery of the car, they said, listen, it's missing a chip. When we get the chip, you can drive the car, it's no big deal. When we get the chip, we'll call you back. Should be about 60 to 90 days. It was 6 months for the chip. Brought the car in, told them it would be 2 weeks for somebody to install the chip because it was a specialized thing. 2 weeks, and put the one chip in, and they said, oh, hey, we've got some news. We forgot to tell you, there's 2 chips missing on the car. So God knows how long he's gonna have to wait now for the second chip. Who would buy a car from 2020, 2021, or 2022? You guys, I'm telling you, these are going to be the kiss of death years. These are going to be the years that you're going to see things completely off. My brother found hey, why don't you buy this Nissan Leaf as a joke, sent it to me and said, it's an electric car that gets a total of 50 miles per charge. Now, my brother lives more than 50 miles away from me, so I couldn't charge the car and make it to his house. And the battery says technically it'll only get 46 miles to the charge. Guys, this car is worthless. The car's $5,000, by the way, but the car is worthless. He should pay you $5,000 to take the car off his hands. That's what I told him. But man, this is just, look at how beautiful this is. This is insanity. This one made me laugh. Wall Streeters are upset because their bonuses have been slashed. And they're feeling the pinch. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and other investment banks, the big ones and small ones, are not paying the bonuses that they used to pay because things are off. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. Louis Vuitton is killing it right now because there's people that want to have really expensive bags, and there are not a lack of rich people out there right now. Rolex still has a shortage of watches. When you go into the Rolex store, they cannot get inventory. I went inside of a Rolex store in Vegas when I was there just to ask the question. We have no inventory. Everything here is a prop. None of this is real, and we don't know when we're going to get it in. Could I leave a deposit and go on the waiting list? We've stopped that, sir. There is no more waiting list. And he knew the answer to that there was no more waiting list. He knew that I knew that there was no more waiting list, I should say. So, share your thoughts on this stuff so far, because it's absolutely, things are getting a little crazier and crazier right now, but this place is just absolutely stunning, guys. Well, now that it's February, it's officially tax season, and I've got two great Walmart stories for you. The first one is Jimmy sends me a story about Walmart's return policy changing. Who knew this, guys? If you bring things back to Walmart, they are not giving you cash anymore for your returns. You can get a Walmart gift card to spend at Walmart. Lucky you. Well, I don't want to spend any money here. I want to go to Target. No, I'm sorry, sir. You have to have it here. Now, Ricky went to a Walmart and plastered throughout the Walmart, because it's tax season, is, hey, why wait for your tax refund? Why not get it today instead of waiting? Get a tax credit today and spend it here at Walmart. Again, people are so broke, people are spread so thin that they need their tax refunds early. You pay interest on that, guys, by the way, a hefty chunk of interest. Don't act like it's free, because it's not free. So, I have been there, guys. I have been broke, and I have needed money, and I have done some creative stuff to sell things and leverage things to get money. Sell things before you take an advance like that, if you can. That should be the last option of last options, to do this. And then, try not to use it for, bills and things like that. And Walmart spend it someplace else, okay? There is a Singapore man who went out with a woman and she rejected him. Guy was really rich, and he said she damaged his reputation by saying, I just want to be a friend. Okay? Clearly this guy is a complete dork. I don't care how much cash he has. He couldn't talk his way off this beach. That loser is suing the woman for $2.2 million because she ruined his reputation as this womanizing douchebag. Okay? So, Mr. Cool couldn't get the date. Okay, whatever happened to no? Remember, no is the answer, guys. No, it shouldn't be a reflection on you. It should just be, not interested. Bye. Bye-bye. Okay? Anyways, she just wanted to be friends and he couldn't handle it. What I would love would be the next guy that dates this woman to make a video, and I will promote that, because that would be worth doing. The final story is a woman named Clara Liddell. She got caught allegedly stealing food, and she stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings out of Cook County, out of their, looks like their school system. $1.5 million worth of chicken wings. Man, I'm talking, that's Bubba Gump stuff. That's like, you can cook it, you can fry it, you can boil it, you can bake it. How do you cook $1.5 million worth of chicken wings? Seriously. I mean, personally, I like them air fried lately. I think that that's just the way to go. You can share your recipes at iAllegedly if you would like. But again, people are getting more desperate, so they're stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please share any story ideas at hello@iAllegedly. And again, you guys send me so much stuff. We try to get through as much as we can. There's only 7 days in a week, guys. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay? Remember, you're just a friend. Don't ever forget that, okay? I just want to be friends. Okay. I will see you guys very soon.